must be a Monday morning. That lead-in was definitely interesting and a little bit all over the place, but here we are because it's not about being perfect. It is simply about doing our best. And so for a Monday morning, not a bad little lead-in. Today, we are going to be talking about a little journey that we've been taking. And the journey began at the very beginning of the year when we read Paddle to the Sea and Paddle's journey down the 5 Great Lakes. And now we're kind of picking up a different journey. Would anybody like to explain where we're at in our journey down the Great Lakes today? Kind of give us a recap. Okay, I have Maria and Avonlea seem to be the voices on a Monday. Let's start with Maria, Avonlea, just because Maria's closer, and then we'll add anything. Anybody else has anything to add? Feel free. Okay, let's see if we can kind of recap.
Okay, so the journey all started when Mr. Cameron and Kai and Mr. Cameron's foreign exchange student all went on a bike ride to Boulevard. So they went on a bike ride, and then they had been about a quarter way through, and they had seen this lady in some traditional clothing, was carrying a copper bucket and a staff with like an eagle head on it, I guess. And then they bike rided past her, so they went past her, and then later on during the journey, they saw her again. And Kai was actually asked Mr. Cameron what she was doing. Obviously, I guess Mr. Cameron didn't really know. And then last week, I think it was Friday, Mr. Cameron told us that story, which we were all kind of amazed because we didn't really know. But then so that was basically the beginning of the story, but then we all kind of were talking about it, and then Mr. Cameron found a book called The Water Walkers, and we read it, and he was telling us about it, and he had connected to the author and Nokomis, which the story was about her, and we figured out that Nokomis was a water walker, and she had started this walk around the Great Lakes to make awareness of the Great Lakes, because some people are using the Great Lakes or water in a not very good way, and they're polluting it, or they're using it, or they're wasting it and stuff. So you're all thinking, and yeah.
Okay, and I connected with Joanne and Josephine, and the amazing thing is that they had responded back and said that they'd be interested in coming for a visit to our classroom. So I read the book, but just as I was reading the book, I had that email from Joanne and Nokomis saying that they would be interested. And also I had inquired to Nokomis and asked if it was actually her walking around Boulevard Lake. And at that moment, just before I started reading the book, a notification came through on the computer and said, yes, it was her. So it's pretty amazing. What did we do in response to Nokomis's story, the story of the water walker? Avonlea? Come on up a little bit, Avonlea.
Well, so after we read the book, we kind of were brainstorming for like a few minutes and just talking about how we were feeling about the book. And some people were saying what they felt and what they wanted to do about it. And then Mr. C said that we were going to be almost making a little note to Nokomis. And so we got a piece of paper, and we pretty much got to tell her what we thought about the book, and if she inspired us or encouraged us to do something, or what we were going to do about it, or how we felt. And then Mr. C made a little video, and then he put all of our, I guess, notes in the video, and then sent it to Nokomis and I forget who else.
Joanne.
Yeah, Joanne.
The author of the book. And did they reply? What was their reaction to our little video? What did they say? Kyle, what did Joanne say, or Nokomis? Do you remember?
That it was amazing. All the students did a great job.
So I'm wondering, what did Nokomis? How did Nokomis make a difference for you? What did you write in your little video message to Nokomis? It doesn't have to be word for word, but anybody like to share? You don't have to really do too much thinking here. But what did you, Ty? What did you learn, or what did Nokomis do for you through the book? What message did you send her? Put you on the spot there a little bit. Okay, we'll come back to Ty. Anybody want to share? Jack, come on up.
I told Nokomis that she inspired me to do the impossible when she walked around Nibi.
Okay. How did Nokomis make a difference for you? Go ahead.
Well, Nokomis inspired me to never give up and to always do what I believe in.
Jordan, what did Nokomis do for you in a sentence or a word or two?
She taught me to take care of the water and to believe in myself and do things that
You didn't do?
Yeah.
Sorry, Sasha, what did you say? You added there to Jordan's.
I said do things that you didn't do or something like before,
She's inspired Jordan. I think she's also encouraged and inspired all of us. Robbie.
Nokomis inspired me to help and protect Nibi water.
Duh?
The Nokomis inspired me that if I'm passionate or if I believe in something, I should make it true.
Okay. So Nokomis' story has been shared. She's walked around the Great Lakes bringing awareness to Nibi. I don't think she went out of her way to look for a spotlight. She was doing this because she wanted to make a difference. But her actions brought the spotlight to her and actually allowed her to be featured in a book written by Joanne. And now she's made a difference for Nibi in a big way. And she's inspired us. But what was the conversation after this kind of really struck me. Avonlea, you had some mixed feelings there. Right after I read the book, and I'm going to come back to the last words that were read in the book, and that I read to you. It says, and she continues to wonder, what are you going to do about it? What was your reaction to that? Avonlea, you're pretty passionate there.
Well, I was thinking of ways that I could help and what I could do, but it was a little frustrating because I was thinking with what she did was so big and it brought a lot of awareness and it made a book, but with me and a lot of other people, it was in the class, it's what can we do, because we're 10, 11, and 12, so I was thinking that I wanted to do something but I didn't know what to do, and that was a little bit frustrating.
Absolutely. And I just want, as Avonlea was talking as well, this is Nokomis' passion. Nibi is Nokomis' passion. She was told by an elder, it was almost a prophecy. She said, the elder told Nokomis that by 2030, an ounce of water would be worth as much as an ounce of gold. And so Nibi became Nokomis' passion, right? So I want you to realize that you're already making a difference for Nibi simply by being informed. You will do better for Nibi, for water, by being informed. Okay, so I think by Nokomis sharing her story and doing what she's done, you will just naturally be difference makers in a big way or a small way. But I think the bigger message here is as well, is you got to look for opportunities in your life to continue to be difference makers as well, right? What will it be that you'll become really passionate about, and then you'll say, okay, this is my opportunity to be a difference maker. And I think when that comes and how that comes, I'm not sure. For me, this is one of those times I want to carry on Nokomis' story. What's interesting about Nokomis is that she lives in Thunder Bay. We live in Thunder Bay. She's coming to our classroom for a visit. We use technology. We are very connected. Nokomis may not be. So I'm going to just end this by wondering with you together, how is it that we might continue as a class, as a group of students, how can we make sure that Nokomis' story, even though she's not walking nearly as much anymore, how can maybe we help to continue Nokomis' water walk? Chase, did you have something?
Is Nokomis coming today, or is it later on in the week?
The plan is for Nokomis so far. We're still seeing that we're still putting some plans into action, or I guess we're not putting plans into action yet. We're still in the planning process, but we're hoping that it will be exactly 2 weeks from today. So we have lots of time to still think about what we're going to do to make a difference and help Nokomis continue to make a difference. Okay, sound good? Any other comments, input? Okay. Does somebody want to lead us out on 3? Question, comment? Okay, good.
I was just wondering, didn't she have a disease that limits her to walking and going places?
Nokomis now has Parkinson's disease. So that definitely limits her ability to walk, even though I saw her out a month ago still walking around Boulevard Lake, a much smaller lake, but she was walking around all of Boulevard Lake. So yeah, how can we, here's my challenge to you, how can we as a class make a difference to help continue Nokomis' walk? Ocean, did you have something? Or did you want to lead us out? Okay, on 3. 1,